Hello, friends. It is Thursday, September 4th, and this is your Chapo. On today's episode, Felix and I are joined by a friend who you may remember from such podcasts as Episode 1, or you might know him as one of the most adept practitioners of movie mindset. That's right, everybody. Please welcome Andrew Hudson back to the show. Andrew, how's it going?
Hello. It's going good. Thanks for having me back. How you boys doing?
I'm doing great. Andrew, we wanted to have you on the show today because I have a backlog of stories about Make America Healthy Again, the Maha agenda, and its sort of guru and leader, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's currently testifying before Congress, and I have to say, he looks redder and sounds worse than I think I've ever heard or seen.
No. He's looking better every day because he's getting healthier. Yeah. As a medical professional, he is my Gandhi.
He actually shares a lot of sleeping habits with Gandhi. They have a similar sleep aid, one could say.
He has similar views on the Aryan race, I'm sure. Into eugenics.
So everyone noted that he was especially red today, and definitely he reminded me of the one-time UFC fighter Yoshihiro Akiyama, who was a Japanese man that looked like a distressed leather couch. He was just one of those leathery guys who were
sort of catcher's mitt style face,
but like a catcher's mitt, but wet. But the other thing that I noticed was it looked like he survived someone just shooting a bunch of birdshot into him from 2 inches away. Have you ever met those people where it's like, did you have acne for 20 years and just not stop picking at it?
I mean, I have a lot of theories about him. I can get into them later, but I was just wondering, like you say, catcher's mitt. I was wondering how he gets all this shit done and he's in the cabinet while he has to be the mitt for potential MVP Cal Rayleigh. Sorry. Well, I know you're a Judge fan, but Bobby's been carrying.
I think Cal's got it this year. Having that many home runs as a catcher, hard to beat. And the Mariners are good. So,
what's the explanation for the insane pockmarking though? Because John Kasich, I have always noted his pockmarks, but that makes sense. He's probably been they've probably tossed him out of establishments and kicked gravel in his face his entire life.
Yeah, a lot of people usually have horrible acne and things like that, and those people I feel for. Acne sucks, and people got to live with that. I don't think RFK ever had it. My theory about him. Okay, this might be a little bit longer, but the Kennedys are cursed, right? They all die. They're just
or they
cursed.
kill other people. Anyone around them or them themselves.
Or they kill other
it's
people.
A lot of,
RFK Jr. He defeated that curse by putting a new curse on himself. I don't know if he went and met with a shaman, or they went to a small Eastern European village and met someone that has the juice, and he's deflected death and beaten it. That's how he gets away with everything, because they said, well, your body's going to disintegrate and you're going to look like a fucking mutant. But you're going to be able to do whatever you want. You're going to be able to touch your babysitters. You're going to be able to cheat on Cheryl Hines 1,000,000 times. And you're going to sound like you gargle, gravel for dinner.
I think you're onto something, because I was, Spencer sent me that article about, Olivia Nuzzi's comeback. And that's good, good fucking luck, lady.
I forgot they were just laying in bed coming to each other on FaceTime and shit. It's so cool.
That entire thing was so funny to me though, because it was the way that people treated RFK, even RFK supporters and Trump people, it was basically come on, that he's basically he's basically just a pubescent but stupid child. He's a child with a growth hormone problem who the school district just forces through high school without him knowing how to read. He can't help himself. Even if any woman FaceTimes him or sends him a silhouette of their tit, he'll spend his entire week sexting her. And
it's probably spent $5 million somehow doing it too. I just don't know how he he moves through life. He just like ekes his way through everything, and he looks like that. How does he like riz people up? He's like a berserk character. Like it's fucking crazy. Like, and then all of his stories are like, I was with Jimmy Seville and Carlos Mencia on the Isle of Man, and we actually took turns strangling a mermaid.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. When like last summer, every time that they were like, yeah, this woman that you worked with said that you like you made sexual comments towards her, and he's like, listen, we all committed rapes during the 60s.
I was no Boy Scout.
I was
like, there's a great novel by the late British artist Brian Catling called Hollow, and it's like this grim Renaissance setting, and it's about this like band of like ruthless mercenaries that are commissioned by the church to transport this oracle across Europe, and it's like it's this weird little oracle in like a basket, like an infant size. And to feed it, they have to give it bones, and when they feed it, they have to confess like their gravest sins. Like that's how they feed this thing. And you find out all their fucked up sins that they do. And this one guy you find out ate an angel. And I always think of RFK, like that's what he is. Like he's one of those guys. Like who that's how he gets through all this. You know, he just there's something so crazy about it. It's like it makes me feel fucking insane. Where he's like, yeah, I raped a babysitter, and it's just like,
yeah, like nothing matters. Nothing matters. It's like all these things that we accepted as just givens and baselines in politics. RFK shows up on the scene, the dumbest, most annoying guy ever with the shittiest voice in the world. Everything he says is so fucking stupid. But and every time you think we're gonna be rid of him, well, like he comes out and he's like, okay, I admit it. I was at the Wonderland murders, and it was my idea. I gave John Holmes AIDS. I thought it was funny, and like
Charlie Manson had a good heart, you know. That's
and
the
then
kind of shit
all
he
that
says.
happens is like someone on the Trump campaign is like, listen, we know he's not a saint, but he wants to get like the wrong juice boxes out of kids' hands. He wants to take all the unhealthy stuff out of candy.
He has fucking depression.
He is. I mean, if he was born in the 90s or 2000s, he would be like he would be posting a fundraiser for DIY anarchist space where he's just doing horrible things to everyone in that house.
Oh, dude, I think maybe with this curse that he has to maintain that I talked about, he's definitely killed people. Like, allegedly, you know, allegedly. In my mind, he's allegedly. Like, there's got to be so much shit he's done that we don't know about. That like he lies all the fucking time, but I think there's a lot of shit that he's like not lying about, and I'm like, yeah, because he just everything bounces off him.
Yeah,
I'm imagining that prior to becoming healthy, he was eating biblically inaccurate angels, you know, like with a harp and wings, just like a regular looking person. It was like
18 eyes.
For a long time, I thought I was eating the angel Gabriel, but I didn't realize that there was preservatives in it. No, but when he started eating biblically accurate angels, that's when he could study and read for the first time. That and doing heroin.
The angels of Genesis did not have seed oils.
And Felix, you want to talk about him saying unbelievably stupid things? Right before we started recording today, like I said, he's getting grilled in Congress today.
And it looks like he got grilled before, too.
No, he looks like he was steamed.
Yeah, he looks like he was steamed and, like, I don't know. Like, I've never seen someone get pockmarked at 70 and they weren't pockmarked before. There's no explanation for it. Like, I'm sorry. It's so fucked up.
Well, it's from bugs. You know, there's that video of him during the campaign cycle where he had like all those ladybugs on him. And I just thought of that scene from Prince of Darkness. Where the guy's made of bugs. He's like, hello.
I've got a message for you and you're not going to like it. Beef tallow.
Yeah, it's about our food.
It's about beef tallow.
He's the pain.
And then the picture of him just eating a fuck ton of McDonald's because it's like, oh, you can have it, but we can't. Oh,
no. I think that was just for the photo, like the photo of him on Air Force One with the president. Like to be in the cool kids club, you got to order McDonald's. I don't think he's eating that shit.
You know, America became less healthy when Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich, the number 6, fell off. It's much worse now.
I know, but a comment he made just today. He was getting questioned by Elizabeth Warren, who was like doing her Elizabeth Warren thing, and she was just like, Secretary Kennedy, true or false? Like, did you fire these commissioners because they wouldn't ban all vaccines? And is that why you fired the head of the CDC? And then he's going, no, I fired her because I asked her if she was trustworthy, and she said no. Would you hire someone who said they weren't trustworthy? And then Elizabeth Warren literally just, I gotta give her credit for this. He literally just goes, what? What?
Fuck you talking about, dog? Like, it just drives me fucking crazy that anyone gives him any kind of platform. Like, why does everyone think he's so sick? I don't fucking get it. It makes me feel more insane than Trump. Like, the Trump is like, he's likable. Bobby Kennedy is not likable. He's a fucking freak.
He's so annoying. He's so fucking irritating. And it's like, I've said it a million times, but it's especially now that he's in charge of the CDC.
Okay, but then like Tom Homan with immigration, like no one likes him, and he's annoying as fuck. But he's Mr. Whiny on the news all the time. Well, these people are coming over, they're trying to take our lives. And, he's just so whiny all the time. But Bobby Kennedy is the same way, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's cool. He's smart. He
works out in jeans.
jacked.
He's wearing jeans while he's doing rock climbing.
Has he even tried to do anything to like make his voice less shitty?
I'm sure he has money. He's a Kennedy.
That's the one thing that you can't cure by like eating raw honey and shoving like a beehive up your asshole, I guess.
Yeah, there's probably some OMFS surgeon that is like, please, man, I can fucking fix this. I'll even give you a discount. Please help our ears. I can do this. He's like, no, I've got to drink juice.
It's so fucking humiliating. It's like, I feel like every day I'm in a workplace where no one likes each other, but there's like a mandatory attendance birthday party. This RFK shit, it used to be, we all understood. We have those dumb members of our family who, they're like, hey, you should get this new type of box that takes all the bad ions out of the air. And you're like, yeah, sure. Get that next time you visit, dummy. But they were cordoned off on Facebook. They didn't really bother us unless they came to Thanksgiving and you had to be like, oh, we made you special deionized yams with fucking distilled bullshit in them. But now it's like they're in charge of us.
Yeah, well, like, he's the annoying lib hipster gluten-free girl now. Like, that's what they're all doing now. They're all fucking woke. Like, he's so fucking woke. They're all just annoying woke people. They flipped it. They ended woke and they made their own.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's exactly right.
I used to associate woke people with like the food that my mom bought in the 90s. Like the really spongy, tough wheat bread. Which was, I'm glad she did that. That was better than the stuff they were putting in white bread. But I don't forgive her for the peanut butter you had to stir. That was annoying. That was annoying.
I was never going to come after you for that one.
She would get me normal peanut butter, so I appreciated that. But you know, like there's a type of lib food, and now it's like now the stereotype about libs is like, oh, they eat fruit roll-ups all the time and soy.
Like the thing where they'd always preach like, oh, fucking vegans, fucking gluten people, so fucking gay, and now they're like. They're like way worse about it, and they're just making shit up. I mean, there's plenty of wrong with our food. Yes, there's public health problems, but he doesn't address the actual stuff at all. Like he talked about like, oh, kids have such mitochondrial issues now, and it's like, yeah, because they probably got fucking COVID, which you fucking caused, you stupid asshole.
Yeah,
Andrew, I thought he was talking about midichlorians, and he was looking for Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
There are more Jedis now than there were before.
Oh, they're going to the dark side.
It just like I think like the issue around American food, I've thought it's been like an undercover thing for decades. The quality of food we have is awful. The thing that like drove me insane, I feel like there's a lot of rose-tinted glasses when people talk about like, they want woke back, which like, yeah, it's better than like whatever the fuck this is. But when people say that, they're forgetting shit like when, Archer Daniels Midland would pay like Professor Crunk to say that the concept of food deserts is racist and that all food is the same. Like that always drove me crazy during peak woke.
Yeah.
But I care about it as an issue. I think factory farming is terrible. The average quality of American food where it's that is one of the biggest class markers, along with teeth. That you have to eat fucking garbage if you're underneath a certain economic strata. But like his solution for it is like, good news, everyone, we made fries healthy. It's so fucking dumb. And it just poisons it. It poisons this actual important thing as an issue forever. And forever brands it with this fucking idiot and his stupid. He just posts like Steak and Shake ads every day.
I was talking about this with Spencer before he came on, but like so much of the Make America Healthy Again stuff and like the seed oil stuff and like, seed oils are bad for you, but like it's something about it strikes me as like a particularly American character defect where like we're just looking for the loophole or way out of the fact that all our most delicious foods are bad for you. Because like, like are fries cooked in beef tallow marginally more healthy for you than fries cooked in vegetable oil? Yeah, but they're still both very bad for you. It's like the same thing with Coca-Cola and like cane sugar. You know, like
it's just a different kind of sugar, buddy.
It's just it's still just way more sugar than you should be drinking. Like all the sorry. The fact of the matter is, foods that are delicious are bad for you, and if you only eat them, your health will suffer. And there's no way out of that. Like you can't just alter one ingredient in French fries to make them healthy.
Has anyone told RFK Jr. that canola oil is from rapeseed? He might like it more. Also, my other theory about him with the COVID stuff is I don't think the China shit is real. I don't think it came from there. And another thing, going back to the curse he agreed to many, many decades ago, he is COVID. He came in and he spread it. It comes from his body. That's why he's so against the vaccines, because he's got to do the work. It's like a plague, you know? He's like the bearer of a plague. And that's the whole reason why he says it's not real.
While we're relitigating things from woke, I just want to say right now, I don't believe the wet market theory, but this is another thing from woke that annoyed me. Was when people got annoyed, they got mad at the term wet market. And I saw these videos where people were like going to Whole Foods and being like, oh, is this a wet market? And it's like, no, you're not selling a live ostrich. Like I'm super in favor of China on a lot of things, but you can't say all the stuff they eat there is regular all the time. I don't think it's bad I'm not judging. I don't think it's like worse to eat an alligator than to eat a pig, you know? I don't or like a dog. Like it's all morally. It's not. I don't have a moral stance on it. It's just certain things are hilarious to eat. I mean, they would probably think that about our rednecks.
There's always the racist tropes about eating dog or whatever. I'm like, we eat cows and pigs, man. That's just as bad as eating a dog.
Pigs are more intelligent than dogs. Yeah,
I eat meat, but also I recognize it's fucking gross and weird to do.
Yeah, it's a very arbitrary line, and like my line, I'm not moralizing. I'm not. I don't think I'm superior to them for some of.
I just don't think I'm better than them for eating just cows and pigs.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
chicken.
But it's like it's sort of fucked. Sort of funny to eat a pangolin. Like, what the fuck?
What are we doing?
Eat them like an artichoke.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I am moralizing a little here because pangolins there just aren't a lot of them left, and that just seems like the worst thing you could use them for is food. like this incredibly rare, like, you know, this animal that's sort of like out of time, this scaly mammal. There aren't a lot of them.
It'd be like making jerky out of like a silverback gorilla. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, is that the best use for that thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, and again, you know, America we've probably made more things.
It's not a moral thing. It's just like it's very funny to eat certain things.
Yeah,
and you know, overall, it isn't funny to eat animals. It's not what I'm saying. It's just absurd. That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
And then you have like RFK, who's like chopping heads off whales and probably eating roadkill. And he's like, wait, did they eat roadkill again?
That was, oh God. Did you ever have those kids that you were friends with?
A bear story?
Did you ever have those kids that you knew where there was always that one like just fucking gross kid who, if you found a dead squirrel or something, he would always like pick it up?
Yeah, they got to touch the dead animal. It's like, dude, it's covered in maggots.
Oh, God, I hope every kid I knew like that is dead now. There's no redemption from that.
The kids that want to like cut open a frog and it's not in school.
Oh God. Oh man, no, that's what RFK. He gives me the same feeling as those kids.
Oh, he's an animal torturer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, also, there was a article out today about how he has basically, like, his Health and Human Services, they have buried and, like, basically censored a major study that connects alcohol use with cancer. And it's not the first time they've done this either. I mean, like, yeah, like, once again, alcohol not good for you. I can't imagine we're gonna get around that. But this was back in April of this year. This is a headline here: top NIH nutrition researcher studying ultra-processed foods departs, citing censorship under Kennedy. And it says here, he detailed what he called an intervention by HHS regarding media coverage of our study on brain responses to ultra-processed foods. The study, published March 4th in the Journal of Cell Metabolism, used brain imaging to see whether consuming ultra-processed milkshakes high in fat and sugar caused reactions in dopamine similar to addictive drugs. Surprisingly, Hall and his team wrote in the paper they didn't, at least not large enough to be picked up on PET scan. HHS denied an interview request from the New York Times and contacted the reporter directly to downplay our study results because our data might be viewed as failing to support preconceived HHS narratives about ultra-processed food addiction. My written responses to the reporter's questions were edited and submitted without my approval. So I love that they were like, so they were basically studying the effects of milkshakes on your brain and like, does it hit like heroin does? And it's like, well, look, milkshakes are great. I mean, they're delicious, but they're not that good.
I mean, I think it's context. Like, if you were to give a milkshake to someone from the 1500s, they'd be like, "Yeah, this is heroin," but they didn't have heroin yet, so they might not know that. So it's kind of a toss up.
I don't always agree with that framing where it's like, oh, if we gave a fucking guy from the Middle Ages Mountain Dew, he'd go crazy. And it's like they were eating things that like you just can't get today. Like they ate like goose pie every day.
Stargazy pie.
That would probably make you. Stargazy pie. All the fucked up birds they ate.
I mean, like, there's certain sodas that would absolutely, they wouldn't go crazy, but they'd be like, man, this is
They would love it.
Have more? They would love it.
If you give
That's what I mean.
Oh, you know what they would love is Big Red, because it's actually a very subtle soda.
Ooh,
you wouldn't.
Faygo Rock and Rye.
That's a good one too. I think
I'm taking Faygo back to the Middle Ages. I'm making a bunch of juggalos in Brittany. I don't know if that's when Brittany was around. You know, don't yell at me, historians.
I mean, but all the food stuff, right? Like they want a study that shows that ultra processed foods are as bad as heroin, which RFK Jr. also thinks is like not that bad.
He loved that
he
stuff.
loves great.
Yeah.
It helps you focus and read books.
And I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly I could sit still and I could read.
And then spiking a study that shows that there is a definitive link between drinking alcohol and cancer, right? And like the whole Make America Healthy thing, again, is like, I think there's two things going on here. Like one is that like you can get far with it because our health and healthcare system in this country is so unbelievably fucked up that like I understand why people are just sort of reaching out to connect with anything that gives them an explanation for it or provides like some sort of alternative or an easy explanation for why everything is so fucked up. Like, and I think that largely has to do with the fact that like healthcare is just unaffordable. So like whether you believe in the germ theory of disease or not, if like it's too expensive to see a doctor or you're just so daunted and afraid of accessing even the health insurance that you do have because of how like, you know, intentionally perplexing and vexing it is, then like, yeah, like I can totally understand why when, you know, a guy with a red face and a weird voice comes on telling you these like, you've been lied to the entire time. Like thing is like, if you can't see a doctor and someone comes along to tell you that all doctors have been lying to you your entire life, well, then it's just like, well, yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't you believe that?
And it's also, this is like the one avenue with healthcare where people who, don't have like the highest third tier of health insurance plans can actually not only feel in control of something, which I think is a huge thing for all American healthcare, even if you do have insurance, that you actually feel like you have some measure of control and agency, but also that you know something. Because that is, I always think about that for people who just have these like shit tier insurance plans that are just like the bare minimum that their employer can give them while still getting a tax advantage out of them or whatever the fuck they have. They go through life having no idea what will be covered, what's wrong with them because they can't afford to go to a doctor, or even if they can, everyone is just completely overbooked to shit because they're just trying to use the margins on fucking everything. And to feel like you actually have not just a degree of control, but like some level of like cognizance over what is going on with your body and it just health in general is probably fucking huge. Like, I completely get why people are into it. I think it's annoying and I think all this shit is stupid, but when it's just like a random person, I don't really blame them. I mean, I don't see how you could put somebody through the experience of being on like the lower half of healthcare plans in America and not have someone come out like a little bit skeptical.
Or like the people that don't even have health insurance, which is like a lot of people, right? My biggest thing that I hate that people like centrists or people on the right will push when trying to argue against universal health care is they'll say, well, we need to focus on preventative medicine. I'm like, you can't do preventative medicine if these people don't even have a fucking baseline of where their body is at. They don't know what their genetics are, what they're predisposed to. They don't know what their blood work is. They don't know what their fucking electrolytes levels are. Like, they don't have any of that. You can't fix those things or even prevent further problems if they can't even get those checkups or get the care they need as a fucking baseline to even start that. So it's just such a bullshit deflection. And it's just another reason why we need, universal healthcare. It's like, that doesn't solve anything. The biggest thing is that preventative medicine. I agree. It's very important, but we need these things in place so people could even start somewhere.
How many Americans under 60 do you think have yearly checkups? It's probably fallen off a fucking cliff.
Yeah, especially like millennials, Zoomers.
And put on top of that the drastic cuts to Medicaid that are just going through right now.
Oh yeah,
that's
just brutal.
And like, and this is going from like, I think what like is like the second big thing that is like really driving the Make America Healthy Again agenda, and like, I don't know, RFK as just a person, and like the appeal of the snake oil that he's selling, and that is that like at the exact moment, and I've said this before on the show many times, but like at the exact moment when they are removing what is left of our threadbare public health system in this country, be it Medicaid, Medicare, or the Centers for Disease Control or FDA or anything like that, they are aware that like healthcare is just not something that non-rich people are allowed to have anymore, or will be able to afford to have.
Like, what
I mean is like, that's why like the focus on which food additives and ingredients, like, steak and shake has got beef tallow fries now. Everybody go eat them. You go eat there. I think Robert F. Kennedy is himself basically kind of an old school eugenicist. And I think that's why his focus on vaccines and autism is like really like what he started his career on, because I think autistic people disgust him. And I think like he looks at defective, sick people as weak and sort of like they're poisoning the body politic. And I think that like in lieu of healthcare, they're going to make it all about individual consumer choices so that if you get sick, it's your fault. Like, we've given you all the information about like the bad foods that you shouldn't be eating. So then when you get sick, and even if it's cancer or something unrelated, or, even if it's tangentially related to your diet or not related to your diet at all, they can just be like, well, you didn't protect yourself well enough against the, disease, which is like a universal fact of human life. Disease, aging, death. You can't really protect yourself against it. But I think like they're in lieu of giving people access to healthcare or the ability to see a doctor or medicine that might actually help them, they're like, I think it's just like they're setting the stage to make it okay to blame people for when they have poor health outcomes because they're stupid and weak, and like they refuse to see the truth that's being ladled out to them by Secretary Kennedy.
Yeah, it's medical Calvinism.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, medical Calvinism. That's the exact right term.
Well, it was, I believe, 37 million children were covered by Medicaid enrolled into that, and 7 million of those, I could have these numbers wrong, but I approximate ballpark. 7 million are special needs kids. Those kids are going to die, or they're going to, have a long, worse process. They're not going to be able to do certain things. They're not going to be able to go to school or go to their programs that they go to and even socialize. Their parents are going to have it much harder. They have so much that they need provided to them that has worked and it's been working. And if you cut all that, you're just saying like those kids are useless to everyone. They don't have a purpose for us, so we should just let them go, and that's like you're saying, it's eugenics, like it's straight up eugenics. And I don't get it, because these are the motherfuckers that say they love to the pro-life, whatever, but they love to say they care about kids even. It's like, you just fucked over 37 million kids by doing cuts.
I remember Benny Johnson did this video, and this was like a huge talking point in the anti-abortion, like Christian right, like 6, 7, 8 years ago. This idea that like there would be no one left with Down syndrome because of abortion.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, they would go to Capitol Hill and like they would like just get some guy to testify that there's no one left because of all the women getting abortions. It sort of like disappeared in the last 3 years, but if you really search deep into the people who like specifically abortion is their number one issue, you'll still find them talking about it. But it's, I mean, you get nothing out of pointing out hypocrisy, but I think less than hypocrisy, it's more that it's a deliberate choice that they want about 30% of the country at any given time, in their ideal country, to be children that no one wanted.
Yeah.
For one reason or another.
Well, I mean, like, that has a lot of benefits for their worldviews, and in addition to the obvious.
If you have enough children that no one wanted, then that's a perpetual motion machine for every bit of like social tension. It's you have tens of millions of people who are desperate enough to take any fucking paycheck. If this is your program, there's no better pool of participants for you. And
like, Andrew, to your point about like how he sees people and how he sees the world, like I was thinking about that in light of his comment about like, I saw a child in an airport had mitochondrial issues. Like he saw a fat kid in the airport and he was disgusted.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, like, that's it. He was like,
that pig child.
I want that fucking butterball and his parents to be erased.
Also, the other Medicaid stuff is grimly funny in a way, because these people, they wanted all this apparently, and then these people voted for it, and then you have like rural voters. There's plenty of rural voters who like Trump in the cabinet, but then these Medicaid cuts, all their hospitals are going to get shut down because they don't have the funding to keep going.
Well, lay the groundwork now for letting people know that hospitals are actually what's killing you.
But also, they're going to have to start going to the fucking cities where they don't want to go, where the hospitals are. So what the fuck? You're going to make them hate you more. Like, maybe they don't connect two and two together, but that's what's going to happen. And those hospitals are going to be overwhelmed because the places in the rural areas don't exist anymore,
Well, I mean, like, like the news around this is about like that they just fired fired the head of the CDC, who was a Trump appointee, was approved by Congress. She served for 30 days, and now
who seemed to be doing her job, so she got fired.
And it's, this from the New York Times says Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. summoned Susan Moranes, the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, to his office in Washington earlier this week to deliver an ultimatum. She needed to fire career agency officials and commit to backing his advisors if they recommended restricting access to proven vaccines, or risk being fired herself, according to people familiar with the events. Dr. Moranes' refusal to do so led to an extraordinary standoff on Thursday that paralyzed the nation's health agency, which is still reeling from mass layoffs and a shooting this month that killed a police officer and terrified employees. Top officials have quit. Dr. Monares' future is in doubt, and President Trump has yet to publicly back his health secretary. But late Thursday night, Mr. Kennedy sent an email to CDC employees saying that he installed his deputy, Jim O'Neill, a former biotechnology executive, as the agency's acting director. Okay, who is this guy, Jim O'Neill? Well, okay, this isn't from an article in the New Republic. It says here, basically, he is a Silicon Valley guy and longtime associate of Peter Thiel, who has absolutely no background in medicine or public health. But who is he? A little bit, if you dig a little bit deeper, it says he does have a history of feverish advocacy of deregulation and libertarianism, as the progressive group Public Citizen highlighted when he was nominated for his current role as Trump's health department. In a 2014 speech, for instance, O'Neill, then managing director of Thiel's Mithril Capital, proposed allowing drugs onto the market without first determining whether they even work. Let people start using them at their own risk, he said. Let's prove efficacy after they've been legalized. He revealed in the same speech that while working for George W. Bush's health department, he opposed the Food and Drug Administration's regulating firms that use algorithms in lab tests, such as biotech company 23andMe. He's also a proponent of legalizing the organ trade. There are plenty of healthy spare kidneys walking around unused, as he put it during a 2009 talk, where he also argued in favor of generally leaving healthcare to the whims of the market. Because there's not a free market in healthcare, people are suffering very significant health consequences that in a free market they would not suffer, he claims. So let companies just release drugs, let them sell sugar pills as cancer medication, and just, hey, if people just let people buy it. If it works, people will be happy. If they won't, then they'll buy something else.
For Steve Jobs.
I mean, this gets into particularly the fact that this guy is like a Thiel associate and a Silicon Valley guy.
Thiel is another image of health. It looks amazing.
What the fuck is going on with him?
I think him and RFK are like having like cherub sashimi together. They're eating angels together.
But Thiel, it's a perfect addition to the Make America Healthy Again agenda, and this like I said, this eugenic mindset we're talking about, because his comments about there are plenty of perfectly good kidneys walking around out there, he means just people. He means people that are currently of no use to him or Peter Thiel, but could be if they ever need a kidney. And dude. And I thought about, did you guys see that Wired story today about that Silicon Valley person who is trying to ruin the life of her surrogate because she had a stillborn birth of one of her set of twins, and she's trying to get she's millions of dollars in lawsuits against this poor person and trying to get the FBI.
She's gonna make this woman she has to get a hysterectomy now. What the fuck do you want from this woman? What the fuck? And
in the story, she was having twin blings, is what they call it, where it's she has two surrogates, each carrying essentially one of each set of a twin for her. And both of the mothers experienced severe health complications regarding a placental anomaly that was essentially caused by this woman's fucking DNA. And that she didn't disclose that to them. And then when one of them had a stillborn birth, she has essentially tried to ruin this woman's life and put her public information out on the internet and mobilize the community of equally demonic people to basically speculate about this woman's sex life, and to just
it's like Philip K. Dick shit. It's so fucking weird the time we live in.
That was one of the most upsetting articles I've read in a while.
It's really upsetting.
There's no shortage of upsetting shit to read about, right? Especially in the last few years. But this one, these articles specifically, or anything about Peter Thiel, there's a unique sense of dread it fills me with, and it's not necessarily that this is how weird our present is going to be. What does that mean for how weird our future will be? Obviously that's there. The unique feeling of despair it gives me is just the idea that there's never going to, not only will these people never get what they deserve, there's never going to be any second of meaningful pushback or any fear of consequence on their part. That's what's truly horrifying about it, is that there is no one who has any capability to do anything to these people who gives a shit.
I mean, surrogate pregnancy is something it's a huge undertaking, right? And people will just say, well, they're getting paid. It's she's the one that carried the child, and she had
and she had to suffer the physiological effects of a complicated pregnancy. Yeah.
And I'm not saying surrogacies are totally bad. A lot of people have good stuff with it and whatever. It's not, a lot of it's not my business. But also this person is doing it for money, probably because they don't have the kind of money the person that's paying them has. That's why they do this, It's not just oh, I just want to help someone have a baby. It's not that. But also isn't it kind of fucked up that she did all that and she's doing it because she needs money, and then she has a stillborn that didn't work out because we're humans. These things happen, and pregnancies are fucking
probably
insane.
Because of whatever poison comes from this lady's cunt.
Yeah.
But then she's going after her now after all of that.
She says of this woman, she kidnapped and killed my son. I am the victim here, B told me repeatedly. Being a single mom, she said, doesn't give you the right to kill another son. You don't have the victim card to play.
I didn't even know as much as I should have until I went to school. Finding out that the things that can happen to women or what they go through during pregnancy, I was so fucking terrified. And I was like, wow, like men really don't have to do anything. Like we're walking dicks. It's like, that's all we do. But like the amount of terrifying things they have to go through before, during, and after pregnancy is fucking wild. And that this lady had to go through all this, and then she loses a child that's traumatizing as hell. And then this lady's also going like, oh, you killed him. Like, and wants
and then like
legal action
putting
against
all
her.
of putting all of her information on social media, sending her photos of the body of the stillborn child.
That's
no,
not
send it to her. Send it to her living kid, to the surrogate's child, who she is the parent of. She emailed her a photo of the stillborn child. But
like, what is the point? Like, I always think about in the movie Citizen X how they executed Chidaleko. That's how like they always did it in the Soviet Union. What utility do we get just as human beings of having this fucking person around? Someone who there's not even a second of there's no drag or resistance in her mind of, hey, is this kind of nuts to send this fucking horrible image to this child? I mean, if we have a death penalty, what is the point if we're not using it on people like this?
Well, I mean,
and again, if it happens to two surrogates who took whatever poison is coming out of your fucking body, lady, gee, what's the common factor here?
Yeah, I know, and then the second surrogate delivered a child who is alive, and now this woman gets to have a kid. But like the surrogate who she describes as the good one had all kinds of complications and like nearly died. But there's one quote in this article that really,
oh my god, it's like the kid in Game of Thrones, dude. Oh god, it's so weird.
Oh my god.
But like there's one quote in this article that really froze me, and I want to share it here because I think it's so indicative of, like I said, the mindset of these people. And Felix, you bring up the death penalty. It's like these people believe that their lives are worth approximately the equal equivalent of every other person on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
They do not believe human beings who aren't them are human beings. And to illustrate that, I'm going to read this part. B, that's the evil woman in question here, sees a model for surrogacy in the anti-abortion laws that, quote, recognize and protect the right of a fetal life. The baby, she believes, should come first. B thinks that when doctors see surrogates go against medical advice, they should report it to the police. B isn't anti-surrogacy. In fact, she frequently advises other investors who are pursuing it and sends me links to a startup after startup. Sheil Monat, a venture capitalist friend of B's who has commissioned Twibblings, said the problem is that information is siloed when each agency has their own database of wombs. In this model, surrogates are the gestational equivalent of Uber drivers or Amazon warehouse workers. There should be a database of carriers allowing us to filter on what we want: age, BMI, willingness to abort the fetus, Monat said. And this is what I'm talking about, whether it's this guy O'Neill, who's currently going to be in charge of the CDC, who thinks that like basically everyone walking around is just an unsold kidney, or this woman who views the life of another human being as essentially just like, she's just renting my fetus for the time being. She's just renting my blood, my plasma, my organs, my child. And like, yeah, like Felix, to your point about like why I feel nauseous reading this stuff is because I just like, I see where this is all going, and I see these people have not even 1 second of friction or anxiety about the like what they're doing to other people, or their absolute like entitlement to the lives and literally the blood and like labor of everyone else on the planet.
This is literally crimes of the future. Literally.
Yeah.
Like I you know, like, and it's just like, and now you got RFK, and they've got RFK as well, and it's just sort of like yes, like I mean, like they've made efforts to like ban certain kinds of dyes that are in food, and sure, go ahead, that'll be fine. If any of these companies are a major donor to Donald Trump, I guarantee you there's going to be no regulation of any of the poison that they're putting in foods. But like they're doing this at the exact same time that like that Donald Trump's EPA is like reducing the amount of like lead, or just sort of like getting rid of the standards of like how much lead or heavy metals can be in drinking water, how much literal sewage and shit can be in like aquifers and drinking water. And it's just sort of like health is for them, not for their slaves. And like,
dude, let's bring back DDT.
I think that is it. I think these people really have a hatred for humanity that doesn't serve them, and they view any human being certainly any citizen of this country who is not among them or doesn't serve them as a threat to them. And like, and they're going to remove all legal barriers to like just the complete and total exploitation of human life.
Obviously, health, like trying to be healthy is good, but there has been for years now, I think, the pushes for wellness, and obviously there's a lot of snake oil salesmen, but just the pushes through influencers, Instagram, TikTok, being healthier, being fit, looking good, looking beautiful, where a lot of these people start to look the same, where they get like the same work done, like chin implants and lip, whatever they get done. They all, these like influencers start to look the same, but like it's ultimately like, I don't want to sound like crazy or overboard, but like it's a form of fascism, right? Like everyone has to be beautiful and perfect, and
absolutely
you have to be this or you're nothing. And now we're seeing this being put into policy with like actual healthcare stuff, and it's really scary because before that was all like voluntary and it's fucked up, but it's social stuff, right? Like it's social media pushing stuff, but I think you're right. Like it's just like it's like this new overgrowing form of eugenics that people don't even realize. Like everything has to have protein now, which is fucking hilarious. But like it's just in everything, everywhere you look. And I'm like, I see this stuff and I'm like, man, I kind of like my bottom crooked teeth now. Like that makes me me. Like,
yeah,
I like my flaws more and more. Like I like my fucked up lazy eye. Like things like that. Like that's going to become vogue at some point, I'm sure, because everything's going to get so fucking weird and robotic. And I don't know where it's going to go, but we got at least probably 10 more years of it at least.
When you boil down all health to all health is either a secondary or primary consequence of like whether you ate the right type of fries or not, then you don't have to feel bad about anything that happens to anybody. Someone who says if there's like a small town where like 80% of the women get ovarian cancer, and coincidentally this was just within 5 years of, plant making depleted uranium armor setting up downriver from them. Well, if you actually look into it, they ate the bad kind of Bluebell ice cream that has xanthan gum in it. And it's all their fault. And so fuck them.
The sugar in soda, this sugar takes longer for your liver to process, but this one is a little bit shorter, so it's better. But they're both sugar and do the same thing, and they're going to make you both fat and overweight.
Yeah. Again, I mean, going back to the surrogacy thing, it just not just the idea that like none of these people will face, not face any consequence or resistance, but that's not even like on the table at all. That no one is even considering that. No one is even offering that as like a fig leaf to entice people. Hey, maybe we'll make some of these people pay. That's that's not available. You will get these people whenever whoever is the Democrat that gets to be the like 1.5 term president. I'm predicting something weird will happen. I think a designated survivor type incident after a Fry incident. But you will get like these exact same people will show up 4 years after that. You'll get Caroline Leavitt again. RFK will probably be dead by then, but you'll get some shithead that studied under him, like the guy who
will be in a jar.
Yeah, the guy who put ladybugs up his ass. That is not even something you can request. That some of these people get disgraced and go to prison.
Like the surrogate stuff is weird because of these startups, and like there's so much private stuff going on behind the scenes that's weird. But then also we've been seeing it for years, obviously, with like the abortion bans in states, and where like doctors are afraid to even do one to save someone's life, even though it's like a miscarriage. Like medically in the field, a miscarriage is called an abortion. Like it's actually called an abortion, but they won't tell you that because they want to just act like, this is all murder. And, it's like the mom had a miscarriage and they don't want to remove the baby and save her life because they don't want to get in legal trouble.
Well, because the procedure itself is an abortion.
Oh yeah,
whether it's viable or not, whether
the child's already dead, and then they, but still,
And Andrew, like you bring up like the sort of the fascism of all this, and we talked about this on last week, but like I can't get out of my head the specter of Laura fucking Loomer, the person who has had more voluntary surgery than just about anyone I can imagine, who is availing herself of healthcare of a sort over and over and over again to make her face look more and more like a gargoyle.
She looks like fucking Spideris from Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Kids or whatever the fuck it's called. Parents will know that.
Well, like the fact that a woman who has gone under the knife no less than 20 times, if I were to make a conservative guess, to like reshape her face into something even more monstrous, personally intervening to block the visas of Palestinian children who have had their limbs blown off by American munitions coming to America to get fitted for a prosthetic or to get any kind of physical therapy for the horrific injuries that they've suffered as a result of this country. That seems to me like an object like primer and a fucking illustration of the fascist death drive of this country. And as long as
she's been making my blood pressure like spike. Like, I don't know how she's able to get so much pull. She's like a fucking advisor. I don't know if she like pulled off Trump and like that's how she gets away with everything. But
her top is crazy.
Just so much shit that keeps coming out about her. Like she wouldn't let this happen. She made this not happen. It's like, why does she get to make that call? Who the fuck is she?
Well, like allowing these absolute monsters
insane.
And clowns to have like untrammeled authority over the lives of hundreds of millions of people.
She looks like a purge mask.
She didn't used to be a real person. Like, that's how degenerated things are.
She's like a tulpa.
That she's a real person now. She used to be, like, even in the highly degenerated time from 2016 to fucking 2020, she was just, even in tides of high tension, that was also someone that, like, everyone, even right-wingers, would laugh at. Because it was just the designated, like, gross woman who was banned from every service in America and would, like, eat dog food on camera for $30. Now she's like James Baker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it is one of the most disheartening things. I mean, it's deeply upsetting, the entire thing of her just completely blocking these kids where no federal funds, it's all private donors who just have the normal human response of seeing kids maimed over and over and over again, that they want to do something. And then this fucking gargoyle, this like real life McPoyle sewer creature is I feel unsafe. Fucking cunt.
Like we have the people running things is we got RFK Jr., we got Peter Thiel, we got Elon Musk, Laura Loomer. Beautiful, gorgeous people.
Yeah, they all look very healthy. They're all aesthetically pleasing to the eye. They look like,
they all have great personalities. Yeah. They all great on camera. When you hear Peter Thiel, RFK, Elon Musk, hearing them talk.
Peter Thiel
awesome.
cannot speak. Have you seen any recent interview with him? Like,
they all stumble over everything. They type on phones all day, so they don't know how to fucking talk.
The last 10 public appearances I've seen by Peter Thiel, he acts like he just dropped like 30 Polaroids containing child pornography out of his wallet. And he's trying to play it off. It is the most uneasy I've ever seen anyone behave.
And like when people like that are being given, like I said, like actual authority and power over our government. One more final example of like our absolute national suicide suicide speed run that we're doing right now. The announcement today that Florida, like the third or fourth largest state in the country, is overturning vaccine mandates for school children. And it says Florida plans to become the first state to end all vaccine mandates, including for school children, rejecting a practice that public health experts have credited for decades with limiting the spread of infectious diseases. Dr. Joseph A. Lopado, a Florida Surgeon General, made the announcement on Wednesday alongside Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican. Mr. DeSantis rose to national prominence during the coronavirus pandemic and over time has espoused increasingly anti-vaccine views. Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? Dr. Lopado, a vocal denigrator of vaccines, said to Applause during an event on Wednesday in Valrico, Florida, near Tampa. Your body is a gift from God. He added the administration would be working to end all vaccine mandates. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery, Dr. Lopado said, without elaborating.
What I love is you see those sometimes accounts on X where like some groiper bitch runs it and it's called like liminal aesthetic. And it's like a picture of an empty parking lot of a Kmart. They're like, they took this from you.
Yeah.
Or they're like, I miss Pizza Friday. When I miss Nickelodeon. And now they're like doing it for like polio, like straight up.
Polio.
Like, I missed it.
And like, you always see like you hear from these people and they're like, half of these are for vaccines of diseases I've never heard of before. Why do you think that is, you fucking moron? Like, and it's just like, talking about eugenics here, like, Felix is confessing to some dark thoughts, so I might as well. A certain part of me is sort of like, good. Let's do this, because anything that can, shall we say, hasten the exit of elderly people from this plane of reality, I'm in favor of at this point.
Well, like, what sucks is, like, they're not doing it for kids. So, like, that's who's probably really going to fuck. And it's like the old people, those old motherfuckers already have their vaccines.
That's the fucking insane thing. Is like all these parents, these parental rights activists who are like, the state can't make me poison my child. They've all received and are now living as a result of the fact that the full slate of all 15 childhood vaccinations, as is pretty much every adult in this country, whether you're pro or anti-vaccine.
Yeah, the constituency for this is like one of those guys who wears like a U.S. like battleship hat, who's worn one of those for the past 40 years.
Cold War veteran.
Yeah. No, like the hats that are specifically for battleships.
Okay, like Tom Clancy.
Those, I always think those are cute, like being a fan of a specific battleship.
Yeah.
Like they were born like 10 years before autism was created in a laboratory.
I think it'd be cool if you're into a submarine, like a specific submarine's cooler.
Yeah, it's kind of charming to me. But those guys who are now so old that they forgot that they voluntarily got vaccines and that they dodged the draft.
They have fucking smallpox vaccines that took a chunk out of their shoulder.
Yeah.
But now they're like, everyone's like, these fucking kids are pussies. They could use some measles.
Well, the country's currently experiencing the worst measles outbreak in like 30 or 40 years right now.
I know.
Like,
it's great.
So yeah, it's all great. And like I said, like I just like it's getting increasingly hard for me to imagine that there's like a way to turn out of this, because like we are just straight up killing ourselves, like full stop. Like that's what we're doing now. We're fucking blowing our brains out. Like
we're on a big cruise ship. America's a big cruise ship where it's a suicide pact. Like everyone signs a waiver. Like we're all gonna die at the end of this cruise ship. We're driving straight off the edge of the flat Earth. That's the whole point, you know?
The only possible way that you could even begin to undo any of this is if you started putting people in prison, if there was actually a fear of consequence again. And that's never fucking happening. At least with the options as they exist now. So
I mean, we just need gulags. We need gulags for this shit, like straight up.
Yeah.
Make Florida a gulag. I mean, they tried that with the alligator Alcatraz. That shit's already done, right? You know, they spent how many tens of millions on it? And then they're just like, no, you got to wrap it up. Okay. But we need to reverse that, not for immigrants, but for, if you don't have your MMR vaccine or your varicella vaccine, if you won't get the flu shot, gulag. We're just sending you there. Sorry. Like, you have to go live there now. Florida vaccines, you don't have to get them there. That's where you got to go. But it's a big gulag.
It would work if you couldn't leave Florida. Like if there was a hard border
just
with the rest
from New York.
Yeah, it'd be easy to do. It's a peninsula.